Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm about to change your life with a foundational piece of advice when it comes to competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I haven't competed a lot. I've competed a handful of times and I compete because I hate it and it makes me anxious, and every single time I compete, I'm pushing myself outside my comfort zone and I am growing, and that's what we want. We want growth and we want challenge and we want to take the risks because that's what life is all about. So every time I compete, I learn something new. And the one thing that I think is most important, this is the most important piece of advice I believe you can receive within the jiu-jitsu community around competing. And that is, you have to get right with your mind. You and your mindset work have to be hand in hand, freaking like A1. That is the most important part of competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yes, technical skill matters, of course it does, but up here is where the magic happens, I promise you. So when I talk about getting right with your mindset work, I want to give you, there's a lot of things that I've done in terms of my mindset work, but I want to kind of explain a little bit of it so that you guys can, find your own journey around your mindset work. So I've been doing like personal development for a very long time. So I have quite a good relationship with my inner voice, right? So there's me, the conscious me, self, talking to you right now. And then there's the voice inside my head, right? And we live our entire life with that voice inside our head. So it's super important that you have a really good, healthy relationship with that voice inside your head. You've got to build trust with it. You've got to build resilience. You've got to make sure that it's your best friend. You've got to have positive self-talk, all of the things, right? So just one piece of advice that I want to give you today that I just want to kind of focus on is changing the narrative around being nervous, all right? So my first couple of comps, people would be like, you nervous? I'm like, yeah, I'm so nervous, or I'm so nervous. And I would be running that narrative like, yeah, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, I'm nervous, I'm nervous. And the past couple of months, I don't know if I heard it on a podcast or if I was talking to someone about it. I can't remember, but potentially it was my physio. Shout out to my physio. Your body doesn't know the difference between being excited and being nervous. Right? The physiological responses are exactly the same. I think being nervous potentially releases more cortisol. But otherwise, I think they're hand in hand, the same sort of business. So if your body and the physiological responses are exactly the same, you just need to do a Uno reverse and change the narrative. So I decided to start telling people and telling myself, most importantly, that I was excited to compete. You know, anytime I would feel nervous, I would shut that shit down real quick and I would tell myself I was excited. I don't really get nervous up until maybe like a couple of days before competition. So I would start getting nervous, and anytime I would feel that nervous energy coming up inside of my body, I would tell myself, oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited to compete. I'm excited to compete with other white belts. I'm excited to compete with women. I'm excited to compete with women who are in my weight division, you know? And I would just run that narrative. And I was telling myself this every time I got nervous. And I would just start saying it, you know? Oh, I'm so excited to compete this weekend. Oh, I'm so excited to compete in a couple of weeks. I can't wait. I can't wait. I did not utter the words, I'm nervous. Like maybe on the day I might have said that, but besides that, I was just telling myself how excited I was. And because I was running that narrative, I started to truly believe it. I started to truly believe that I was excited, which I was. And I was barely nervous when I went to compete. And I was competing at nationals. So like the best of the best are supposed to be competing at Melbourne Nationals. So for me, that was the biggest competition I've ever been to, over 2,000 competitors, and I was barely nervous, right? And I was up against like good people. So yeah, that was truly foundational change. And I was running that narrative of the competition beforehand as well. I wasn't as committed to it as what I was for my second comp. I was testing it. I was doing a bit of trial and error, and I realized how effective it was. So if you take away one key point from this video, I'm telling you, don't tell yourself that you're nervous, tell yourself that you're excited. But yeah, there's so much I can talk about when it comes to the mindset work in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and competition, and even in training in general. There's so much, you know. It's Jiu-Jitsu can be a real dismantle of the ego. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Whatever you got from this video, please comment below. I would love to know if you have even tried this before, or what kind of mindset tricks that you do. I'm always on the hunt for tips and tricks on how to be a better competitor, etc. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.